Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Naturally. The first week of the Premier League is done. How good is it to be back? I think we saw, what is it, 10 wins and 10 losses. So no draws in the weekend. We're going to talk about the big matches. I don't think I'm going to do this regularly. After every week, after every big match, I'll just talk about it. Yeah? Sound? Let's get into it. Yes. What a lovely way to start this video, eh? Tottenham 1-0 over Manchester City. Oh, if you haven't already yet, like the video, subscribe, hit the bell notification, right? Follow me on social media platforms, okay? Yeah? Yeah? Sweet. Right, let's talk about the match. How good was this? I was vividly supporting Spurs. I was watching, it was like, I can't believe it. I'm actually like getting nervous for like a Spurs counter. I was like on the edge of my seat. Like, it was so good. So good. After all these transfer news, like, fuck you, yes, get in. Without Harry Kane as well. Imagine Harry Kane sitting in the silent thinking, but no, we shouldn't talk about Harry Kane. He's a true professional. You know, he does a lot for charity work. He's a model citizen. And we shouldn't talk about him. It's not okay. It's not okay. Let's just talk about the Spurs team, huh? Yes, huh? This guy. Should we talk about him? My lovely. Thank you, the whole football world. Thank you. It's just beautiful, and their whole squad stepped up. On the counter-attack, they defended resolutely. A couple of little mistakes maybe from the keeper or Davinson Sanchez, but they did okay. They basically Mourinho, like Tottenham recently have had an edge over City, and for the past 3 or 4 years, since that Champions League knockout stage where it was just fucking insane and mental what happened, they've had a little edge over Man City, haven't they? Oh, with the FA Cup, was it the FA Cup that beat them? Was it the League Cup? They beat in one competition, and then Mourinho had the edge over City, the Champions League with Pochettino, and City start this season with a loss. It is insane. It's just they defended resolutely. They were dangerous on the counter-attack. City, we've said this about City a long time. They've got the ball, but they look what's the word I'm looking for? They just look toothless. I think that's the phrase I'm trying to say. They look toothless, didn't they? They looked not spineless, because they had, you know, obviously Fernandinho there, but it just looks spineless. They did, and toothless up front. Obviously, to start with Ferran Torres up front, and you got Sterling and Riyad Mahrez. I need to shut these curtains because my eye's going to explode in a minute. Right, obviously with the stats, you know, City had more of the ball, they had more chances, they had more everything, and they looked okay on the ball, but Tottenham just looked better on the counter-attack, which is obviously lots of teams look better on the counter-attack. It's hard to break a team down when they're sitting back most of the time, and especially with that midfield of, like, I mean, they played Dele Alli in the centre midfield, which is interesting. Skip, Højbjerg, and Dele Alli with midfield 3. Dele Alli didn't do much of the ball, like didn't do much of it when he had it, but just did his role. And if Nuno Espirito Santo wants him to do that, and Ali is a bit more mature and understands his role a bit more, he can become a good player because he's technically excellent. He's a big lad, so he's not going to be afraid of a challenge and all that, and he can, you know, hold off people and hold the ball. So if you can improve his defensive side and positive signs, he can be like a good player for them. But they dominate. Did they dominate City? Because Spurs looked like they had the best chances. They could have been 2-0 right after Son scored. They didn't do much. Lloris made a couple mistakes when it's set pieces. City could have scored them, but they looked nothing. It looked like they were doing nothing with the ball, really. Yes, they played it nice, and this is what I expected of City. Last week, they had in the Community Shield, the Charity Shield, they didn't have their best players out there, obviously, and obviously Leicester had their full squad, and obviously Leicester were favourites to win, really, technically. But you saw City style players like, this doesn't look right. Because when you have like, you know, obviously best players out, you still can see what they're trying to do. Still, you know, Pep Guardiola is still telling them what to do. And you can see like a patterns of play. We didn't see that from City at all, really. Pardon me. But Spurs, we saw defend deep, attack with numbers especially. And they did well. And kept the clean sheet against City. I mean, it's not fucking easy. We saw Jack Grealish. Let's talk about Jackie Grealish because, I mean, he's getting slated. I thought he had a really good game, to be fair. Picked up the ball a couple of times, just drove towards goal. Almost won a penalty. It was fouled outside the box. And I thought he tried his best. But once again, Sterling, Torres, and Mahrez, they're all similar. They're all wingers cutting inside. They like to play the ball. They like to play inside. And so on. But I thought, yeah, but this lad. Obviously, we saw Zinchenko come on afterwards, but It amazes me. He's so overhyped, isn't he? He's so overhyped, and I'm amazed, always amazed. Why? Because he did have a good, he did have a good start to his career at Monaco. But it's just mad, isn't it? It's mad how much they spend fucking money. I don't. They should be getting 100 points every fucking year, and if it's not, it's a failure. It is. Look at the fucking bench. Look at the fucking bench. Laporte, Walker, John Stone, Zinchenko, Bernardo Silva, Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, Jesus. I think I mentioned this on my Instagram, and I think I tweeted as well. 350 million on the bench. Sterling, 50 million. Titus was a lot, wasn't he? Mahrez was a lot. Gundogan, I don't think Gundogan was a lot. Fernandinho, star. Still a star. Jackie Chris, 100 million. Like, I'm not saying this just to be banter, because I hate football banter. I think it's shite. They should be walking the league. Liverpool, Chelsea, maybe Chelsea, United, they should be near City. But it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. It is insane. But let's talk about Tottenham, because Lucas Moura, how many times did he just dribble past maybe 2-3 players and just hold the ball and won a free kick? Let's see if his stats. It was just very good for him. Dribble attempts, 10th, 6 out of 10. Ground drills, 11 out of 22. How many times? Yeah, pick up the ball there. And obviously, they're playing deep Spurs, isn't they? He had the ball, and about 2-3 players, City, pressing the ball, trying to win the ball back as fast as possible. He beat a couple men and then get fouled. That helps. That eases the pressure. When you got Bergwijn, Lucas and Son all capable, and Dele Alli to an extent, all capable just holding the ball, running 10-15 metres, winning a foul, getting your team further up the pitch. It is so important, and it just gives the defence a bit of a breather, and it helped it. And that's when you've got defences who defend for about a few minutes, breathe, start again, reset, defend, balls out, concentrate, okay, relax, time to breathe. Oh, they've got the ball again. That's right. Keep going. It helps the team a lot, and fair play to Spurs. Fair play to Nuno Espirito Santo. First game for first manager game at Tottenham, and he won. So, I mean, thank you from everyone. Thank you. Oh boy, let's talk about Arsenal. Yeah, well done, Brentford. Well done. It's insane. One Premier League into the season, and the manager Mikel Arteta is so much under pressure. They were poor, Arsenal. They were really poor. Obviously, we're talking about the Premier League games. Let me know the comments. I did a video about Liverpool versus Burnley, and then we'll do that. I'll keep Liverpool separate, and I'll do this for general Premier League. I'll probably call it Football Twilight. I used to do videos about Football Twilight. Football Twilight, hashtag it, yeah? So, fair play to Brentford. They had a game plan. They clearly analysed, scouted Arsenal's weaknesses and the way they played, and they executed it with to a fucking T, didn't they? They were brilliant. Absolute to a fucking man. They were brilliant. And these two didn't score, but my word, they run the defence ragged. Run these boys ragged. How poor were they? Tini was poor defensively. Murray and White were bullied. And Chambers is Chambers. Xhaka lost the ball how many times? Lokonga did okay. Pepe had a couple good chances. Smith Rowe created a couple. Lots of young kids. Lots of kids in that squad. And Xhaka. How can Granit Xhaka be the captain of Arsenal? How can he be the captain? I don't understand I don't understand how that football club is run. It generally mind-boggling me. It mind-boggles me. Look at that bench as well. Bellerin holding. Tavares did well when he came on. Cedric, Elneny, Saka, Maitland-Niles and Nelson. That's not an inspiring bench when you're not playing well, isn't it? Balogun is still young. Martinelli is still young. You're putting the pressure on these youngsters. And you paid 70 million for Pepe, who I don't think Arteta's getting the best out of as well. I don't think he's playing great, but I don't think Arteta's getting the best out of him. They're in trouble. And Leno had a couple mistakes in as well. They're in trouble, Arsenal. Real. And obviously this is the first Premier League game of the season. You shouldn't get carried away and all that. But they're genuinely horrendous. And Arteta, the fans on his back end, why, obviously expected. They were poor. That team is average. Let's be honest. It's did I predict Arsenal to finish? Was it 9th or something? 10th? They're going to be mid-table. if Arteta says for the whole season, they're going to be mid-table. And obviously they can still improve. And, you know, Smith Rowe, he's going to have better games. Martinez's going to have better games. Balogun has got, you know, Liverpool ones. I think Liverpool tried to get him because he was running out of contract a couple of years back. He should be better. Pepe is still young. Tierney's still young. White will get better. Chambers maybe won't get better. Lokonga's still young. They've got good young players in the squad, but tell you what, they need a striker. They were missing a Aubameyang and Lacazette, which probably they lacked in the final third. But even their the possession, they didn't look confident at all. They didn't look confident compared to the fucking other team, Brentford. They were passing the ball out the back. They were bypassing Arsenal's press. They overran Arsenal's midfield, and these two just held the ball and bullied these two. Bullied. Fair play to them. Sergi Candos, Liverpool Academy player. So happy for him. So happy for him. And fucking hell. They defended like fucking animals. And they passed the ball like absolute sensational. Fair play, Thomas Frank. Clapping. That was a beautiful picture with, I think it was a little kid with a disability. Look at the little picture. It's so lovely. They're going to do well, Brentford. I think I tipped it to stay up because I love Thomas Frank. I love the way they play. System, game plan, passion. And when you got the crowds back as well, nah, don't know why they sing it. It's our song. It's our song, lad. But it's good. Fucking fair play. Look at the possession. 65% ball for Arsenal. 8 shots. 22 shots to 8. But it wasn't. There's only, I think, one chance I think Pepe had, which they probably should have scored a good save from Raya, bottom right. Well done to Brentford. Well done. But it was sloppy. Bullied Arsenal. They got really, really shattered. And the final game we'll talk about is the United versus Leeds game. So, United basically fucked them, really. Leeds were poor. They did okay they had some moments where they got past it. They started the game really well, Leeds, didn't they? They started the game really well. But United just kept on finding the spaces in between the centre halves. How many times did these two? It looked like fucking 25 yards between them. They were poor defensively. Poor. Bielsa made a couple of changes half time. It did help. Luke Ayling scored an absolute fucking rocket of a goal. And it looked like they went into it, and then all of a sudden 5-10 minutes later they're down 4-1 and thinking, what the fuck? This happened last year as well. I don't know. Leeds just... United are so good finding spaces with their front players, and Pogba obviously had a fucking great game. He only got 8.4. What's his stupid sofa score? Got 4 assists. How can he only get 8.4? The fuck? Sofa score is weird, isn't it? But I do use them. But it happened last year as well, didn't it? They bet them, what, 6-2 was it last year? Defensively, Leeds need to improve, and I don't know, because even with the ball, like first half, they were moving the ball really well. They were getting past Wan-Bissaka and Shaw easily. They were trying overlapping and creating, extra numbers near the ball, and winning those 50-50s, those 1%ers. But every time, Daniel James basically would keep them going behind, and I don't know why. I think there should be a couple games. People were saying, all right, title challenges for United. Couple games. Give it a couple games before we start saying title challenges, because Leeds, they smashed Leeds last year, and United didn't have a great year. So up and down, should I say. So positives. Pogba was incredible. Fernandes scored an absolute rocket. Greenwood scored an absolute beautiful goal as well. Made a couple of mistakes, but they were just naive, Leeds, and I don't know if it's naive in a different way, because the first half they look defensively okay. They're a bit more pragmatic, look like it, and they're good with the ball, okay, it's looking okay. And then all of a sudden, with a flick of a switch or a flick of a finger, 5-1 down. It's insane, but fair play to United. And they've got Sancho came on, Martial came on, Matic made that midfield a bit more solid. But McTominay and Fred, they both had decent games. But when you got a proper midfield, I don't know if like Liverpool's or Chelsea's, can they get overrun? It'll be interesting to see. But they've got a bit of squad depth now. Varane also didn't play. And so on. But yeah, Brentford didn't have much of the ball. And so on. But I thought it was just poor by Leeds. But fair play to United. Yeah, we'll leave it right there. So that's the recap of this week's first week of the Premier League. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, hit the button notification, and we'll see you guys later.